Welcome back to Finnegan's Garage, especially those of you that went to fsmgarage.com and bought the merch, because I spent all the money on the nicest Chevrolet Camaro I could find. This 1991 Z28 only has 22,000 original miles. There's not a mark on it. The interior is perfect. The 5-speed is Nirvana. And I got it from a good friend of mine. And you know what that means. It broke like 3 blocks after I bought it. But don't worry, we'll fix it. We'll get it home and we'll show you all the gory details on this episode. All right, I know what you're thinking. Finnegan, you bought another car that broke down. Yes, that is true. I'll say it. I've said it before and I'll say it again. You don't have to script car shows. You just buy old cars. It doesn't matter what you spend on them or how nice they are. They all break. So yeah, this thing broke down, but we're gonna fix it and then we're gonna give it away. If you go to fsmgarage.com right now, buy nothing, buy anything, you're gonna be entered for a chance to maybe put this thing in your driveway. And if it's not my car, how about one of these badass B&P Manufacturing Liberator hand trucks? All aluminum construction, tires that never go flat. These are perfect. Like if you've got a wife or a girlfriend or a boyfriend or a mom or dad or whoever that likes to shop on Amazon every day of their lives, you need something to move all those boxes, bruh. If you buy a lot of car parts and you don't tell your wife about them and you need a fast way to scoop them up and then hide them around back, you need a hand truck, dude. These things are awesome because they're all powder coated to match something I've built in my life and probably blown up, like Blasphemy. You know, I've blown that up before. How about the 632 Inside Chick? Yep, we broke that. Wifey's El Camino smoked 2 transmissions in that car before we got it right. Anyway, if you don't win the car, if you don't win the hand trucks, we're giving away autographed FSM hats. Go to fsmgarage.com right now and enter for your chance to win my stuff. Good luck. And on with the show. Giveaway time, and this time it's gonna be different. Whoever receives our car, the odds are good they'll get home, you know, the same day that they're leaving. Unlike some of those other giveaways we did where, you know, the mana got a little sideways. Not this time. Look at this. Look at this. That right there is a 1991 Chevrolet Camaro Z28 5-speed car with a V8, and it only has a hair over 22,000 original miles on it. Seriously, the car is 30 years old. Wait, 1991, so 9, 24. The car is 31 years old and has averaged less than 1,000 miles driven each year it was alive. And which is probably why the first time I tried to pick this car up, it didn't go so well, and we ended up not being able to drive it home. We'll cut to that clip right here. You can see what the problem was. Oh, what's that? Oh. Deuce. Anyway, bought this car from a friend of mine, Doug Cook, one of the owners of Motion Raceworks, out of his private collection of third gens, because he's a huge third gen nerd, and I'm giving this away to somebody. Yeah, it's happening. But first,
me.
You can't win, Joe.
Damn.
There's some rule about Canada, outside the US, and friends and family. I don't know. You guys can't win. It's weird. But first things first, we're going to get behind the wheel again and try to, you know, go further than 5 miles. And if that goes well, we're going to stop at South Georgia Motorsports Park because Lights Out 29, I don't know what number it is happening. 16. I was very close. It's happening right now. So we're gonna go visit some friends there and find out what's going on there and then continue our journey home. Anyway, let's give her a look. We're at Ross Automotive because when it broke, Doug, the guy that owned the car at the time, took it here to get repaired, and allegedly it's fixed now. I think it just needed some fuel system parts. Because Lord knows, after 31 years of sitting around, the EFI was probably unhappy. Look at how nice it is. It's brand new, bro. It smells like high school in here. outstanding. So when I was in high school, one of my friends drove one of these, and it was super cool, and I couldn't afford one. I didn't have one. And I never thought of myself as a third gen guy. But when I saw this for sale, I went, that's really nice. Let's do it different this time. We'll buy an actual nice car as opposed to something we're just gonna fix up from crap. So I feel good about this. I think you're gonna feel good about this. Let's open the hood and see what it looks like. I'm betting under here is as clean as it is in there. Oh, dude. It's unmolested. Brand new in here. Wow. Tune port, I think it's a 305, not a 350, but it does have the 5-speed. And it's a Z28, so I bet this thing corners really well and it's gonna be a lot of fun to drive. Let's go find out. Definitely needs a bath. It's set outside. We'll take care of that when we get home. All right, Joe, race you to SGMP. Find my keys. Okay. 91 Camaro keys, got them. The buzzer works. Fires right up. Gauges all look like they're working. So the first digit in the odometer is a 0, and it has 22,910 miles on it. Wow. It's an interesting car because it's got crank windows and no T-tops. So, and it doesn't have, yeah, it's a no power car. Like no power locks, no power windows. You know, obviously it's got power steering, but, and it's got a power hatch. Like you have to lift it up, but the mechanism that clamps it down when it closes, that's power. Our e-brake light works. Oh, I should have brought a, oh, dude. It's not even a cassette car. Check this out. I'm gonna get my iPhone on here so you guys can actually see what I'm seeing. Look at that. It doesn't have a tape deck. That's a radio. It's got a knockout right there where you could have put a cassette, but no cassette. There's no fast forward or reverse buttons. Interesting. So the Z28, I'm gonna guess that's like a performance kind of model in the 90s. We're gonna give you crank windows, no power locks, not even a cassette deck or a CD player. Although 91, that'd have been pretty early for a CD player. They're out there, but what you are getting with this car is 22,910 original miles. Oh, and a pretty good exhaust note. Horn works? What? I bought a lemon, the horn doesn't work. Oh well, as long as it does burnouts, we'll be fine. All right, I'm going to buckle up for safety. We have half a tank of gas, one window down, one window up, a 5-speed gearbox, and a blatant disregard for my own personal safety. Oh, it does burnouts, dude. It does burnouts good. All right, I don't know where I'm going. Let's see. This says go right. I will. Oh, dude, it destroys tires. That was way too easy. Wow, okay, all right. Let's see. It's telling me to shift, had a second. Oh, God, all right, it's not fixed. It's misfiring badly again. You gotta be kidding me. It's backfiring out of the exhaust and misfiring. Oh my God. I don't want to drive this. I mean, I do want to drive this home. I don't want to make another round trip to Valdosta again. You got to be kidding me. No, come on, come on. Don't do it, don't do it. It's so weird. It's like at a specific throttle position. It's not even engine RPM, it's a throttle position. Because it does it at 2600. But if I shift, it does it at 2100. It does it at part throttle. I wonder if the MAF sensor or the TPS, I don't know where the TPS is on a tune port system. Hey Siri, call Joe Cole.
Calling Joe Cole, mobile.
Hello.
It ain't gonna make it, it's getting worse.
It's getting worse?
Yeah, let's turn around and go back to the mechanic shop. Maybe they'll let us plug in and diagnose it or something.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right, bye.
Supposed to be working on the Cadillac, not the giveaway car. I was gonna put an exhaust on it, new tires, and let somebody enjoy this pristine automobile. And yet here we are. A simple pick up and bring it home trip is turning into an actual adventure that gets in the way of me working on the Cadillac. And you're like, why don't you just work on a Cadillac? Why are you screwing around with this? I'm like, I gotta be honest, I wasn't supposed to be screwing around with this. This was supposed to be, you know, straightforward. This was supposed to be a way to sell apparel to generate revenue so that we can buy parts for the Cadillac. This business model, it's very squiggly. It's not a direct path to success. Okay, change of plans again. We were gonna just drive it to the track where we have friends with tools, but it clearly wasn't gonna get there. So we turned around and came back to Russell Automotive. And I'll admit, when I first got here, like, I really wasn't that impressed. The person I spoke with couldn't tell me what was done to the car, didn't give me any paperwork. I was like, that's kind of weird. But when I drove back here just now, I was met with a whole bunch of people who are actually going to the track tonight. You can tell they're into this, you can tell they're gearheads. And they were cool enough to let us pull this thing in here and start diagnosing it. So far, what we've found is fuel pressure might be low. You first turn the key on, it's 40, but then it drops to 30. When it's running, it's hovering around 34, 35, which I don't know what a tune port system's supposed to have from the factory. I would think it would be higher than 35, but they're gonna go look up and find out.
It doesn't say running or not. It says 41, 47.
So we're low.
It doesn't specify if that's like running.
Right.
Definitely low.
I bought a fuel filter. I don't know.
He did say he put a filter on it.
Okay, so you guys haven't changed that yet then. Are you guys cool if we just bring this thing in and change the filter?
Sure.
Dude, that'd be sick. All right, thank you. And I don't know if that's the problem or not, but.
Wait, did he say he didn't change the fuel filter?
Oh, he said he changed it?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, maybe.
Yeah, we changed the filter.
Plugs,
'cause
cap,
it's in the back
filter.
over there.
It does feel position sensitive. Like, it doesn't matter what RPM it is. It's just part throttle, it misfires real bad.
Yeah.
Maybe the sensor's no good. TPS, map sensor, who knows?
Yeah, we've got the map sensor on the way, trying to get a CPS.
Okay. This thing was sat more than it was ever driven. Who knows?
Is that original miles on it? 20 something?
Yeah.
Pretty nice.
So it's like, who knows what's sat in this fuel system for the last 30 years.
With our quality gas these days too.
If it was 30-year-old gas, it'd be better than, 2-year-old gas for sure.
Yeah, the ethanol stuff's what goes bad.
So what we're doing now is we've taped a fuel pressure gauge to the windshield so that we can see what the fuel pressure is doing while we drive and while it misfires. All right. I have to, is that 30?
34-ish.
All right. Now we can see it and feel it misfire. maybe we'll see something in the fuel pressure gauge. There we go.
37.
Yeah, so it's got fuel pressure.
Wow, that's terrible.
Yeah, it gets worse too. So I'll drive past that, but then when I slow down and let off, it does it again.
When you got back into it, it hit almost 40.
Yeah, and if I upshift and take the RPMs down, it just gets worse.
35.
Yeah, we have fuel pressure. It feels like there's something else going on. I'm almost wondering if it's going dead ridge because it's backfiring out of the exhaust. Oh, there it goes.
Said we put a cap on it. Did we check the timing?
I have no idea. Maybe not.
We hit about 40 right then.
So it either doesn't know.
35, 32, 35, 35. Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like either the injectors are just dumping fuel or something else is going on.
How's your love for third gens going right now?
I still love it. It's a beautiful automobile. A little temperamental. It's weird. It has fuel pressure. It idles about 32, cruises at like 37. You go wide open, it goes up to 42. The one thing I will say is the moment you shut the key off, the fuel system does bleed down quickly. But I don't think this is what's going on. I think at part throttle, this thing is just flooding itself. I think that's what's happening. The guys are gonna put a timing light on it because I don't know if anyone ever checked the timing. And well, at least look at that. But after that, I don't know. I don't know what else we can do today.
It's gonna be something stupid, you know it.
It's getting late and everything's closing. None of the parts stores have any parts. Like we wanted to put a new TPS on it and a new pressure regulator, and we couldn't get one. So
Can't get either one of them.
no. 1, 3. And 7. Okay. Well, still misfires. We can't get a fuel pump tonight, can't get a regulator, but I'm really starting to think that that's not the problem. So now what we're gonna do is unplug all the fuel injectors, pop the rails off, pull the injectors out, put battery power into them while forcing brake clean through them, and see if maybe we've got one that's just stuck and dribbling fuel at part throttle. Because it really seems like it's just a part throttle problem. We've checked the timing. It's sitting at a little over 14 degrees at idle and 38 total. That doesn't seem to be our problem. Our TPS sensor seems to be working. We have fuel pressure. So let's start looking at the injectors that have sat around for the better part of 30 years with probably whatever kind of fuel in them. I'll also remind you, we've already put fresh fuel in it and a bottle of seafoam. Okay, well, we cleaned 6 of the 8 injectors. 2 of them we couldn't even get to. But more importantly, we're pretty sure this might need a fuel pressure regulator because the pressure is a little low. It's about 10 pounds low. But we can't get one till tomorrow, and they're closed tomorrow. And they're leaving in 20 minutes because the staff of this shop is also the staff of the drag strip we're headed to. So everybody's going there tonight. So we're not gonna put the plenum back on because we don't have the regulator, which is coincidentally under the plenum. So we're gonna leave the car here, and I don't know, we'll figure it out later. For now, we're just gonna go to drag strip, watch cars go fast, and interview as many people as we can while having beverages because I feel like we've earned them.
Yeah.
This is our giveaway car. I'm very excited about it. I know you guys are too. And I'm sure it will run perfectly by the time someone wins this in April. Yeah.
If not, might get an LS.
Yeah, for real, right? right, this is not the parking lot of the mechanic shop, is it? And we are not at a drag race. A lot of things didn't go the way we had planned when we drove down to Valdosta that day. The least of which was driving the third gen home. That clearly went sideways. So to recap for you guys, tried to drive it home, which is about a 5-hour trip, and it started misfiring badly. In fact, worse than it had the first time I tried to drive this car. And the shop was kind enough to let us bring the car back, use some of their tools and some of their mechanics to try and diagnose what was going on. We verified we had fuel pressure, we verified that we had plenty of ignition timing advance, there weren't any vacuum leaks, everything seemed to be happy, which led me to believe that maybe our injectors had a problem. And so we ended up towing the car back to my warehouse. And in the meantime, I texted some friends, texted Brian Macy at Horsepower Connection, and he said if you have the gray injectors in your third gen, these are a known problem. Apparently they short out internally, and maybe that's what's going on. As you saw, we tried to clean them out with some brake parts cleaner and a battery, sending voltages to it and trying to pulse it and clean it out. But the problem with that is you don't know if you did a good job. There's a lot of different ways to clean these things. I actually have a small sonic cleaner at home that we could have thrown these into and sonic cleaned them for a couple hours, and it might have cleaned them out, but how do you know that it's good? We don't have a way to flow test it. And to be honest, at this point in my life, I've got 3 or 4 cars with EFI that sit around a lot, and the injectors, because of today's pump gas with the ethanol content, the injectors are prone to failing. They're prone to getting clogged up, especially this one. This one, the fuel flows through it over the coil inside of it. And so when you leave fuel sit in it, it can tend to make this thing go bad. So anyway, long story short, although we managed to clean 6 of the 8 injectors, I'm not putting them in because I have no way of knowing whether they're going to be any good. I'm short on time, and the last thing I want to do is put the TPS back together and then find out as we drive it that it's still not functioning right. So what I did was went online, searched for who makes aftermarket injectors, small ones. These are only 19 pound per hour injectors for our Tune Port 305, and actually I came up with a company here in Georgia called Fuel Injector Connection. Yeah, Fuel Injector Connection. I'll put a link in the description. I bought a new set. Actually, these are refurbed. They're not even new, but they're refurbished. They do flow test them after they clean them, and then they guarantee that these things are going to be great. These were $229 plus 3 hours of our life driving there and back to get them. And I'm going to put these in the car, and we're going to cross our fingers. That is our problem, because the only other thing I question in this whole deal is maybe we have an EGR valve that's malfunctioning. But I don't have one, and I can't get my hands on one today, and I really need to put this car back together because we're giving it away, and I need it to run. So right now, Joe and I are going to lube the O-rings, put these in, slam it back together, pray that we didn't create any vacuum leaks, because there's a lot of gasket mating surfaces there on that intake manifold that we took apart. And then we're gonna go test drive it. And if it all goes well, awesome, sweepstake begins, right? And maybe this could be in your garage. All right, Joe, shall we?
Yes, sir.
There's actually instructions, which is great. Special instructions for installing Bosch injectors in place of GM injectors. So these are shorter than the originals, which is why this one has 2 O-rings built into it. Instead of the one square cut O-ring that was on here, this is 2 O-rings. And the top O-ring goes into the chamfered part of the manifold to seal it. And then the bottom one seals the injector part to the intake. Basically, one O-ring is keeping the fuel from coming out. The other O-ring is preventing vacuum leaks, essentially, I think. But I'm told these are a great replacement for these. All right. Shall we?
We shall.
We're supposed to disconnect the battery and let the computer reset. And
Yes.
There's a process for that. Basically, you let the battery be disconnected for like 10 minutes and then turn the headlight switch on to make sure all power is drained out of whatever systems might have still had some residual power in it, I guess. And, you know, that's it. Install. Here. So from what I understand, these long runners make pretty good torque, but the motor is tapped out at like 5,200, 5,300 RPM. It doesn't
Really?
rev higher. Yeah. So people make cam changes and manifold changes to these motors to actually get them to run because they don't rev high. I mean, I haven't driven it much, but it's fun as is.
I mean, it ran great when you're on the gas.
Yeah, wide open, she's money.
Yeah.
But maybe at part throttle, whatever, pulse width, however many milliseconds those injectors are supposed to be open at part throttle, they didn't like it there. I'm guessing they were just leaking. Check it out, everybody. Fuel rails are going on. Injectors are in. And they fit really well. We didn't struggle at all to put those back in. I think our only major hiccup right now is Joe said a vacuum line broke when he had this apart.
Yeah, this one right here.
So we're gonna have to figure out how to fix that because a vacuum leak won't be any good. Uh-oh, careful.
Oh, look at that. They got little pins to hold it in place. I can't see it.
To the rear, right there. Oh. Ready?
Yep.
Ignition is on.
I don't see any fuel leaking.
I don't know how this EFI works and if it charges the fuel system unless it's cranking or not.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is there any reason why I couldn't crank it?
Yeah, because I have the belt dangling.
Yeah, the what?
The drive belt, or the belt's dangling. I can hear it.
You can hear what?
I can hear like fuel. Turn it off and on again.
That's off.
Turn on. No, I think we're good. I don't see any leaks.
All right.
Yeah, I think we're okay.
So right now, the drive belt is back on the alternator. We have not installed the plenum because we want to see if while cranking it, it gets fuel pressure and if there's any leaks up front. There we go. Ready?
Yep. We look good.
No leaks. Ooh, fired up and it idled down, so I don't think we have any vacuum leaks. No fuel leaks there.
How about fuel leaks?
No fuel leaks there.
You know what's different? You can hear the injectors right now.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
I say we put the snorkel on and go for a test drive.
Let's do it.
We should hurry because I think it's about to rain.
It's just going to make it funner.
I don't want to get this cream puff wet though, you know? Yay! That should not have gone that well. Like, it's a 90s car with a lot of hoses and plastic and vacuum lines, which we broke one. But usually, modern car, at least in my world, not easy to work on. That really wasn't that bad. Genuinely shocked. And I guess that just goes to show that if you spend a little more initially in purchasing the car and get something that isn't, you know, rusty, trash, been in an accident, left outside for dead for 3 decades, they're easier to work on. Case in point, the snorkel just falls right into place. It's not brittle. Wow. Somebody's gonna get an awesome car. I don't know who it is, but I'm excited for him.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not me.
It's not you. But you'll get to drive it at least once. Okay.
Well, since I'm currently without a vehicle.
Yeah, where is your truck?
Still getting hail damage repaired.
Oh, all right.
Let me tighten this guy up.
I already did.
Oh, you did? Okay, cool. I think we're ready for a test drive.
Yes, slammer. Let's go. Beautiful.
Get this other toy out of the way.
Not that I needed to smoke, but look at that. Everything in this car works. The gauges, everything. Look at that. 45 pounds of oil pressure, full tank of gas, because it is full. Coolant temp works, volts work, tach works, and it legit has 22,916.9 miles on it. This thing is a cream puff. So far so good. Second gear. Nope, there it is. Oh my God, you gotta be kidding me. It's still doing it. Unbelievable. Still doing it. Stay tuned. We'll figure this out. All right, just got back from the test drive. That did not go well, but I talked to a couple people who got my brain working. And the more I think about this, the more I'm not using my noggin. I'm used to dealing with aftermarket electronic fuel injection, something that has a screen or a gauge or something that tells me the air-fuel ratio of the exhaust as you're going down the road, something that shows me the ignition timing in real time, yada, yada, yada. You know, something with multiple O2 sensors. And the moment I started thinking about that, I went, does this even have an O2 sensor? It does. And it doesn't have a wideband one. It has a narrow band one with just one wire. And it's upstream in the exhaust, right in the manifold on the driver's side. And you can see the one wire there. And after talking to a couple of people about it, this setup in this car, supposedly the computer ignores it at idle and at wide open throttle. This is only active at part throttle. So maybe the whole time our issue has been our O2 sensor's dead.
God, I hope so.
So we're gonna put this in and we're gonna go drive again and see if that solves the problem. If that doesn't solve the problem, I bought a distributor because I've also heard of an issue where if the shaft gets too much play in it, the pickup and the reluctor wheel can actually touch each other and misfire it at just certain RPMs, but not all the time. That would be wild. There's only 22,900 miles on this thing, but I bought one anyway because it came with a module. You know, maybe the module went bad. I don't know. But let's start here. This is maybe not the easiest thing to remove because it's been in there for 30 plus years, but I bought a toolkit to remove it because I don't even own one of these because, again, we just deal with a lot of aftermarket parts. I don't usually work on stock stuff. So I guess this is what it's like to be on a mechanic today when you get a 1991 Camaro in the shop. I don't. All right. Let's go drive again. Cross your fingers. Cross your fingers. So Dougie Fresh seems like the perfect name for this car. All right, 1-2 shift. It's still there. Maybe not as bad. We'll go a little further. Nope, still doing it. I'm gonna drive a little further, but yeah, right now, part throttle, 3,000 RPM, it is misfiring. And it's telling me to shift. Let's see, third gear, yep, still doing it. All right, let's see if an ignition module solves the problem. I'm running out of parts to change, people. And I got no way to find out what this thing's doing while I'm driving it. The only thing we could do right now is maybe go to a chassis dyno and try to watch the ignition timing while driving on a chassis dyno. O2 sensor. Yeah, there we go. We're popping and farting and banging again. Oh, this thing's so unhappy. Oh my God. But like I said, if I floor it, it's okay. All right. Back to the grill. The warranty on this is void if we
pull that off.
If we pull this part. I'm kind of like, well, maybe we should just install the whole distributor. All right, let's just do that. On your side, I think the hold down should be there.
Yeah.
All right, let's try it again. All right, there's the old distributor. And what I'm looking at here is the module, because the ignition module was allegedly changed, but look at those bolts. The module looks fairly new, but the bolts are covered in rust as if a tool hasn't been on them. Now it's possible you could put a nut driver on there and not knock the rust off, but that is weird. So there's what a new one looks like. There's our old one. I don't know. It was just as easy to replace the entire distributor as it was to get the module out, so I also couldn't buy just a module. I had to buy a whole distributor. So we have this, we might as well just put this in. And if this doesn't fix it,
I don't know.
if this doesn't fix it, bro, she's getting a carburetor.
This is super loose compared to that one. Like this one seems nice and tight. This one's wobbly, and the plug's a little off.
Like throwing a hot dog down a hallway, kind of wobbly. A little sloppy there.
No, I mean this one takes effort to move it. This
Yeah.
one's just.
All right. Well, hey, that's something. Maybe that's our smoking gun. Who knows? Let's install this and find out. All right, y'all. Slammed a new distributor in it. Joe's putting the cover back on the intake manifold. We just verified our timing. We've got about 14 at idle and about 34 and a half at 4,000 RPM. It sounds smoother already, so maybe there was an issue there. I don't know. Does it solve the actual problem? No idea, but I'm going to drive it again just in case. And once again, I'm going to say, yes, that was our problem, and everything's going to be fine from here on out. Is it doing it? Huh. I don't want to believe it, but let's try a different gear. Oh my God, it's fixed. It's fixed. It's not doing it. Ah! I'm so happy about this. This isn't even my car. I didn't get to keep this. What am I gonna get to do? Drive it like for a month? But for the next month, until someone puts this in their garage, I'm gonna enjoy the sweet noise of a 5-liter V8 without a misfire. Oh my gosh. The car's not shaking anymore. Look, I'm holding it steady at part throttle. I'll put it in second gear at an even lower RPM. My foot is barely on the gas. It is no longer popping and farting. Oh my goodness. This is outstanding. Oh my God. So either that advanced mechanism in the distributor is junk on the old one, or the module fixed it. Wow. All right, it's official. I can give this car away now. Man, I am so excited. Not necessarily to give it away. I'm excited for you guys, but I really like the car. I kind of don't want to give it away. It's really nice. But just to overcome something, to like struggle and try and think and rationalize and, oh my God, it feels good when you finally fix something. Yes, it is true. I am giving away this 1991 Chevrolet Camaro Z28, the car that only has 22,900 original miles. She is a beaut. And all you got to do is go to fsmgarage.com right now to enter the sweepstakes. You don't have to buy anything. There's details on how to enter this deal without spending a dime. However, if you do buy a sticker pack or a shirt or a hoodie, it does increase the number of entries you get into the sweepstakes. So why not buy yourself a new Third Gen Vibe Camaro shirt? Check it out. That is literally the shirt with the car that I'm giving away. Look at that thing. She's beautiful. And whether or not you win the car or the shirt, either one of them are guaranteed to attract the opposite sex, which ought to be our goal in life, right? Like it still has a little burble, but not like before. Not like where it's bucking and shaking and farting out the exhaust.
It seems like it was running good.
It's much happier. Like it's now, I no longer feel bad about giving this car away. I'm now like, okay.
I don't know what else we can do to it.
Dougie Fresh is happy. Dougie Fresh is ready to go make memories with someone else.